I thought I was the luckiest woman alive. For 28 years, I loved one man with everything I had. I trusted him with my heart, my future, and every dollar we earned together. Then one afternoon, a trembling elderly woman stopped me inside a hardware store, gripped my arm, looked straight into my eyes, and whispered 7 words that made my blood run cold. "You do not know who your husband is." I wanted to laugh and walk away. But the next morning, when I opened a locked storage unit she told me about, my knees nearly gave out from what I saw inside. My name is Claire, and until 2 years ago I believed I had the perfect marriage. My husband Daniel and I had been together for 28 years. We built our lives from nothing, survived layoffs, paid off mortgages, and celebrated every small victory together. He always seemed dependable, hardworking, and devoted. Friends often told us we were the kind of couple everyone hoped to become someday. Looking back now, I realize how easy it is to mistake consistency for honesty. The strange chain of events began on an ordinary Saturday afternoon. I was shopping for supplies at a local hardware store because Daniel claimed he wanted to renovate our backyard deck. While comparing paint samples, I noticed an elderly woman staring at me from the end of the aisle. At first I thought she had mistaken me for someone else. Then she slowly approached me, grabbed my arm with surprising strength, and asked if I was married to Daniel Harrison. The moment I answered yes, her expression changed completely. She looked terrified. Her hands trembled as she leaned closer and whispered that I needed to check a storage facility on the edge of town. Before I could ask any questions, she slipped a folded piece of paper into my hand. Written on it was a unit number and an access code. Then she whispered something I will never forget. She told me Daniel had been living a different life for years. Before I could stop her, she walked away and disappeared into the crowd. That evening I confronted Daniel indirectly. I mentioned the woman and watched his reaction carefully. The color drained from his face for a split second before he forced a smile and changed the subject. His response felt wrong. For the first time in nearly 3 decades, I sensed genuine fear behind his eyes. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard the old woman repeating those words. The next morning, curiosity overcame common sense. I drove to the storage facility alone. When I entered the unit using the code she had given me, I expected old furniture or forgotten boxes. Instead, I found evidence of a completely different family. There were framed photographs of Daniel with another woman and 3 children, birthday albums, school records, family vacations, Christmas cards, medical bills, mortgage paperwork. The dates stretched back more than 20 years. My husband had secretly maintained another household while sharing a life with me. The deeper I searched, the worse it became. Hidden inside filing cabinets were financial records proving that Daniel had used our joint savings account to support his second family for decades. Hundreds of thousands of dollars had quietly disappeared over the years. Every financial struggle we endured suddenly made sense. Every postponed vacation, every delayed retirement plan, every excuse. I sat on the cold concrete floor surrounded by evidence and realized I had never truly known the man I married. When I returned home, I confronted him directly. At first he denied everything. Then he blamed me. Then he claimed he was protecting everyone involved. Eventually the truth came pouring out. Years earlier he had started another relationship during a business trip. Instead of ending it, he continued both lives. The lies became so large that he no longer knew how to escape them. What shocked me most was not the betrayal itself but how casually he explained it, as if maintaining 2 families was simply an unfortunate inconvenience. Over the following weeks, attorneys became involved. Financial investigators uncovered hidden accounts and properties purchased under different names. The elderly woman from the hardware store eventually contacted me again. She turned out to be the mother of Daniel's second partner. After discovering the deception herself, she could no longer remain silent. She believed I deserved the truth, even if revealing it destroyed both families. Without her courage, I might never have uncovered any of it. As the legal battle intensified, Daniel became increasingly desperate. One evening he arrived at my house demanding that I withdraw the lawsuits. His anger quickly escalated into something darker. When I refused, he physically attacked me. For a terrifying moment, I genuinely believed I might not survive. Then a neighbor named Michael burst through the gate after hearing the commotion. He pulled Daniel away and called emergency services before the situation became even worse. What I did not know at the time was that Michael had quietly cared about me since childhood. We had grown up on the same street before life took us in different directions. Over the years he watched me dedicate everything to a marriage that was built on lies. After the attack, he became one of the few people I could trust completely. He never pressured me, never rushed me, and never asked for anything in return. He simply showed up whenever I needed help. Months later, the court proceedings finally ended. Daniel lost access to multiple hidden assets, faced serious financial consequences, and watched the carefully constructed double life collapse publicly. Friends who once admired him learned the truth. Business partners abandoned him. His reputation disappeared almost overnight. The empire of deception he spent decades building crumbled faster than he ever imagined possible. As for me, I slowly rebuilt my life from the ruins. The process was painful, but it taught me something important. Betrayal can steal years from your life, but it does not have to steal your future. The woman who saved me in that hardware store gave me the truth. The neighbor who saved me afterward gave me hope, and for the first time in decades, I was finally living a life built on honesty instead of illusion. Today, whenever someone asks me whether I regret those 28 years, I tell them no. Those years taught me strength I never knew I possessed. Daniel spent decades creating to families through lies. One elderly woman with a guilty conscience exposed everything, and the moment he tried to destroy me, karma arrived faster than he ever expected. The most shocking part was not discovering my husband had another wife and children.